Hello, everybody. It's good to be here on a Monday at the Soul Center. Um, and Habit Energy has been good for me to do it. I thought about it this week, but I really didn't know what I was going to say until this afternoon. Um, so I'd spent some time with Thich Nhat Hanh again on this. Um, it's a quote from Thich Nhat Hanh. Habit energy pushes us to run, to always be doing something, to be lost in thoughts of the past or future, and to blame others for our suffering. And that energy does not allow us to be peaceful and happy in the present moment. Um, so I think that the following story is not true. It's a metaphor, but it is true in its very root in nature. So imagine John is putting together a bookcase, and I get there and I'm hammering things in, and then I see these things that kind of look like they have grooves on them, like screws, right? And I go to hammer them in, and the hammer is not working. So I get up in my car and I take myself to Home Depot because I need a new tool. And when I get to Home Depot, I buy a sledgehammer because a sledgehammer ought to do what the hammer couldn't do. Um, and to me, that's one of the ways that habit energy can feel. Sometimes when I'm stuck in habit energy, I double down and make it worse. Uh, an example was I was putting on weight, drinking too much wine, and I thought if I switched to brandy, it might be better. And I don't know what route that would have taken me on. Probably would have gotten more caught in the suffering of alcoholism than I already was at that time. So, trying to do things differently. One thing about habit energy for me is it's rushing. I know that I am in the grips of habit energy if I'm driving to work and I'm wishing people would speed up or not be in the lane in front of me, or that this car would make a right turn so we can all make the light. And I feel, excuse me, anxiety about this. And it's good because I'm aware enough now when I have that it's a wake up call, and I can begin to slow down. Another thing Thich Nhat Hanh says: if the car goes fast, I go fast. So I try to remember that. Um, so my job, I get to work with very unique children, and it's been children lately, and they have a lot of emotional breakdowns in the classroom, and they're pretty severe. And it is always important for me to stop. Um, an example is one kid, they had a stack of little frisbee things kids could sit on. And I was at the door trying to help them out, and they were in a quiet room, and they started throwing the frisbees at me. And one of them hit me in the face, and it hurt pretty good. Um, so the first thought that came to my head was, you little prick. That's the first thought that came to my head. But I knew, I go, okay, I just need to pause. So I closed the door and I sat there. He was waiting for me to open the door so I could throw frisbees again. I go, I need to stop because the best thing I can do right now is nothing. The best thing I can do right now is nothing. And I'm not saying I'm always perfect, but in that incident, and in most, all, to be honest, but in that instant with that child, I stopped and I thought, okay, I'll just stay here, keep the door closed. I don't want him to feel trapped. I'll ask if he's ready to return to the class. And when he is ready, I'll open the door. So I asked him, and if he kept slamming his body into the door or throwing things, I'd leave him. And eventually he was well enough. And I opened the door and he grunted at me and gave me an ugly look and went into the other room. And I was very happy that I did not make this child's suffering worse or bring any other drama by maybe saying something sarcastic, you know, which is not a good thing. I avoided habit energy in that. Another time where I had success, and I'm just sharing my successes. I can share, I have lots of non successes, just so you guys know. But I went to a breakfast at this place called Little European, and I got there and I knew the food was going to be too much. So my habit energy would have me put my hands together like this, right? Not like this, but like this, and devour the entire meal. But this time I gave away little pieces of my meal and I cut chunks off and put it in a to-go box and turned one meal into two meals and shared some. And in that meal, I was not caught in habit energy. I was not caught in suffering. And again, I stopped. I paused. I did things a little differently than I usually do. People say things that I strongly disagree with. Um, in those circumstances, I want to stop. I don't want to make everyone my enemy and realize I make enemies. Enemies don't make themselves. I make them. Well, there are exceptions. Sometimes enemies make themselves, but 99.9% of the time, I'm making them. When I begin to worry or get anxious, like just driving my car to work, stop, realize I'm creating a crisis, that I'm catastrophizing, and take that opportunity. Slowing down is very rarely a bad idea. Um, I suppose if I was being chased by a rogue elephant, speeding up is a good thing. Although I might want to think of the best way I can run, since I can't run that fast, and I want to be very strategic on where I go. But rushing in those cases, but most of the time, slowing down is a better option. There's one thing I always wanted to do, and I read them and then I don't do them. I don't post them places or memorize them. But Thich Nhat Hanh had a thing called gatas, Gathas. And they're little things we can say to ourselves before we do everyday activities. And I find these to be not intuitive, meaning they're not connected to my habit energy. Habit energy is pretty easy for me. I'll do it. If I don't think, I'll just do it automatically. I'm a habit energy machine. I'm being mindful is being the opposite of that. So I want to share a few gatas that I really enjoyed. Um, this gata is called Smile at Your Anger. I'm a very angry person, so I get to, practice this a lot. Breathing in, I know that anger makes me not beautiful. Breathing out, I smile. I stay with my breathing so I will not lose myself. Walking meditation. The mind going in 1,000 directions, but on this beautiful path, I walk in peace. With each step, a cool wind blows. With each step, a flower blooms. planting a tree. I entrust myself to the earth. Earth entrusts herself to me. I entrust myself to the Buddha. The Buddha entrusts herself to me. Throwing out the garbage. In the garbage, I see a rose. In the rose, I see compost. Everything is in transformation. Impermanence is life. So I don't know if he has hundreds of them. I suspect he does. I never took account, but he has a multitude of gathas covering everything from looking at yourself in the mirror, brushing your teeth, opening your door to leave the house in the morning. I just see a person who nurtured a life lived in the present moment and reminded themselves of all the things that are important. So I'm going to change what I was going to chant. I'm going to go to a chant made by Anne with an E here at Soul Center, only because this one talks about not rushing and pausing and going slowly. So the chant goes, one day at a time, go slowly, breathe, and smile. And again, go slowly, breathe, and smile. As a gata, more or less. And it's Thich Nhat Hanh still. We'll follow that by a few minutes of silent breathing to just soak in the moment. One day at a time, go slowly, breathe and smile. One day at a time, go slowly, breathe and smile. One day at a time, go slowly, breathe and smile. One day at a time, go slowly, breathe and smile. One day at a time, go slowly, breathe and smile. One day at a time, go slowly, breathe and smile. One day at a time, go slowly, breathe and smile. One day at a time, go slowly, breathe and smile. One day at a time, go slowly, breathe and smile. One day at a time, go slowly, breathe and smile. One day at a time, go slowly, breathe and smile. One day at a time, go slowly, breathe and smile. One day at a time, go slowly, breathe and smile. one day at a time. Go slowly, breathe and smile. One day at a time. Go slowly, breathe and smile. One day at a time. Go slowly, breathe and smile. Let's just take just 2 minutes, maybe a little more, maybe a little less, just to breathe and focus on the moment, following whatever you can to keep yourself focused, whether your breath or a mantra or counting. Thank you, everybody, for your shares. They were really good. And um, dedication of merit. May all places be held sacred. May all beings be cherished. May all injustices of oppression, devaluation, and theft be fully righted, remedied, and healed. May all wounds to forest, rivers, deserts, oceans, all wounds to Mother Earth be lovingly restored to bountiful health. May all beings everywhere delight in whale song, bird song, and blue sky. May all beings abide in peace and well-being, awaken and be free. Namaste.
Namaste.